Welcome back, Royally Quacked fans, to another Royal edition of Royally Quacked. Last week you had the Quacky edition, and today's episode is about making an all-time teams Kings team to take on the all-time Ducks team they made last week. And with me today are special guests, Kevin Snyder. You'll remember him from the player grades and Locked On Kings, Puck Podcast, and NHL Game Night host, Eddie Garcia. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
So
This
we
will
are
be fun.
going.
Looking
We are
forward to
first.
it.
We're going to start off with each one of us giving our team. If anybody else doesn't want to go first, I will.
Can I complain first?
Sure.
It's not really a complaint, but just to be clear, because I think our teams might be a little different based on the idea of how we decided to pick them. So I have the text you sent me about making an all-time Kings team. I won't read it, completely, but it just says 4 lines, 3 defensive lines, 2 goalies. Any questions? Blah blah blah. So there's nothing on here that says, anything else other than how we should pick our team, which I think is fine because it's our team, so we should pick it however we want. To me, but there wasn't anything specified as far as are these guys just their Kings careers, or is it anybody that ever played for the Kings?
Yeah.
So I think if you're picking an all-time Kings team, that it should be what they did while they were with the Kings. As an example, the problem with that is I love Jerome McGinley. If I was picking a team, all-time team of anyone who ever played for the Kings, he would be on it. But he played 19 games for the Kings. So I think it's kind of silly to have Jerome McGinley on an all-time LA Kings team. That's my issue with it. But you guys pick your team however you want to. But my team is only based on what these guys did while they wore an LA Kings sweater.
Okay, I can go with that, Eddie. No problem whatsoever. I mean, most of what I picked, except for a few, had a pretty great Kings careers. So
yes, there will be between the three of us some obvious selections that no one can argue with.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is that we can make a team together that we all, I mean, it's going to take all three of us to do it. So we're going to have to come into an agreement on that. So
I don't have a Ginla. Do you have them, Gary?
I did not.
Okay. So we don't have a Ginla.
But I got to tell you,
just an example, though, is what I'm talking
No, that's
about.
a great example, Eddie. And I love that idea. I even forgot he had played for the Kings, but it was a very short. That's like why just to be honest, Grant Fuhr played for the Kings. Was a pretty
Not
great
very
goalie.
well. Yeah, he was great, but he wasn't good for the Kings.
He's not on my team.
Thank God.
So
because I'm not going to argue too much about things, but if Grant Fuhr was on your team, I would have to argue about that.
Good.
I mean, he was a great goalie. I mean, he's in my notes saying how some great players that played for the Kings that I did not select. I have a whole list of those too, but I'll go first. So on my number 1 line, I have the great one, Wayne Gretzky, the president of the LA Kings currently, Luc Robitaille, and I did pick Jari Kurri. And I picked them because they all did play together. So that would be my number 1 line. My number 2 line, of course, is the Triple Crown line.
Thank you.
Marcel Dionne, Dave Taylor, and Charlie Simmer.
Nice. So we're doing 2 lines or 1 line?
There's 4 lines.
You're going to do all 4, or are you going to do 1 and 1?
What?
He's asking if you want to do like all of us do our first line, all of us do our second line, all of us do our third line.
We could do that way. Go ahead, Kevin. Who's your line.
Well, it kind of transcends into what you were saying, because as a Kings fan, and I actually lean toward what Eddie's saying, and I actually asked you that very question. It's like, are we going to have Iginla? Are we going to have other people that really didn't play much or sucked when they came over, or were average, or are we going to do Kings? So I had that same thought and clarification as a true, Kings fan. So as somebody that's been around and seen a million games and seen these guys in their prime, 1979, I was there. The guys right behind me, these guys, Marcel, where are you? Marcel, Dave Taylor, Charlie Simmer. That's my number one line. That's the first line ever in the NHL to have everybody on the line scored 100 points in the same season. Okay, so everybody else, as far as from a purity Kings standpoint, and Gretzky was great. He played 539 games with the Kings. Dave Taylor played 1,111 games with the Kings. Dion played 921 games, and he's the all-time leading scorer. I know Kopitar's coming up on him, but he's got about 500 more games. So my number one line, without any question, having seen them personally, watched how they matriculated the puck down the ice and how they scored. No question for me. Again, as a Kings fan, as a true Kings line, there can be none that can compare to the natural. It's like a natural Triple Crown line. That's to me.
Okay. How about you, Eddie?
Well, I did not see Charlie Simmer or Marcel Dion play. I did see Dave Taylor at the end of his career. I think the argument of that's the greatest line in Kings history, I think, is a strong one if you wanted to look at it in that way. But I put what I thought was, like, if I had a pool of players and I'm picking who I'm the coach and I'm saying who's my number one line, I didn't look at it that way. But I think that argument, if you're saying pick the greatest Kings line that actually was a line together, then I think the Triple Crown line is the obvious answer. So I get that explanation, but I went with what I thought would be, if I could pick the players, who would be my number one line. I have Anze Kopitar at center, Luc Robitaille on the left wing, and Marcel Dion on the right wing.
Wow. No Gretz, huh?
Nope. Gretzky is not I've said all along, I believe Anze Kopitar is the greatest King of all time. Wayne Gretzky is the most influential King of all time, but he wasn't the greatest King. And when you're also the best years of your career with another team, then that affects my judgment on you being the top player on another team, so to speak. Like, to me, Wayne Gretzky is an Oiler first and a King second. So that, if I'm talking about my greatest Kings of all time, I can't put him at number one, or, because I just don't think of him as a King first. I think of him as an Oiler first. That's my thing. That's my criteria.
That's why we have this, and I agree with you.
I knew it was going to be different. I knew we were all going to be a little bit different, and I was expecting this.
Well,
that's what makes it fun
here, Gary, and I want to respond to Kopitar. Marcel Dion's the greatest King player ever. There's no question about it in my mind.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin.
He played 921 games, and he leads in points. And what did Kopitar play? 1,454 games, 500 more games, and he has less points than Dion. So, in my opinion, and we're on the same page.
You saw Marcel Dion play. I did not. Could he even touch Anze Kopitar as a two-way player?
He wasn't a two-way player.
Yes, there you go. Well, I'm talking, all around. You're just talking about scoring. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all around game. I'll take Kopitar.
Okay. So, cool. Kevin, let's not get off topic. Okay?
Yeah, Kevin.
We're not arguing who the greatest is. We're making a team. Everybody has their. Well, that's okay.
I did. That's why I'm saying that's why I picked Kopitar over Gretzky for my top line center.
That makes sense.
I mean, I looked at all the stats, and do you have any idea who the top 5 scoring forwards are in Kings history?
I think Taylor's up
points,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Dave
Dion,
Taylor's got to be up there.
I'll give it to you. Dion is number 1.
There you go.
Kopitar is number 2. Robitaille is number 3. Dave Taylor's number 4.
There you go.
And Wayne Gretzky, only playing 539 games, is number 5. Bernie Nichols is number 6. Dustin Brown, and then it goes all the way to Drew Doughty at number 8. So, but
well, let's not get sidetracked.
Yeah, well, we already did. So, Kevin, why don't you give me your number 2 line?
Absolutely. My number 1 line is my Kings pedigree that, I've been following them forever. I saw these guys play, as I said. So the Triple Crown was number 1. So then number 2, I did more of the mix and match with the greatest ever, kind of like in the pool thing Eddie was talking about. So Gretzky's got to be there. He's my number 2 line, right? So imagine this line if you're a defenseman opposing these 3 guys. You got Gretzky, Luc Robitaille, and Bernie Nichols. Good luck stopping that. You got offensive firepower, unstoppable. So my second line is and Robitaille, I like Robitaille more. I'm more loyal to Robitaille. Came up and just wasn't supposed to do anything, and he's Hall of Fame and one of the greatest Kings ever, arguably. And so he's in there. Bernie Nichols, we traded him, unfortunately. I'd like to have seen him have his whole career with the Kings. Great scorer. Just this is an offensive punch that I don't think you're going to be able to put together 3 guys that have more offensive punch than these guys could. But they're not two-way players, but that's okay.
What about you, Eddie? What's your second line?
I've got Gretzky centering the second line with Dave Taylor and Dustin Brown. I have on my second line, and he does not have some of the stats of some of the other guys you could put on there, but obviously brings a physical presence, leadership. He is top 10, by the way. Oh, by the way, in goals and assists and points. So it's not like
I have
he didn't have the stats, but as far as being a dynamic sniper, that kind of thing, no, he wasn't that guy, but a great power forward. So I got Gretzky, Taylor, and Brown on my second line.
I think that's a great line, Eddie. And you heard mine. I picked the Triple Crown line to be my second line. I already gave it to you earlier. Dion, Taylor, Simmer. But I will go first on the third line. And my third line is Anze Kopitar, Dustin Brown, and Adrian Kempe. And the one thing you got to love about that line does everything. It's probably maybe the best 2-way line in the whole thing. And my thought is why I put Kopitar, which Eddie, I agree with you. He's won 2 cups. He's probably the greatest King ever as far as he won 2 cups. Best 2-way player I think the Kings have ever had. And I got to say, I don't think Kempe's too far behind him as far as 2-way players. But you have that third line. They're not only going to score for you, but they're going to check for you too. And that's kind of why I made it my line that way. I was thinking, okay, I'm thinking penalty killers, because we're going to make two lines of penalty killers. I know Kopitar and Kempe probably be my number 1 penalty kill forwards. I mean, just why I'm throwing that out. So that's my third line. Eddie, why don't we go with your third line?
I've got Jeff Carter at center, Bernie Nichols on one wing, and Butch Goring on the other. Again, a couple of guys I didn't see play in person, or when I became a Kings fan in the 90s, so I didn't see Bernie play with the Kings or Butch. But I think the numbers speak for themselves. I would think those 2 guys would be amongst anyone's list of picking 4 lines. I would think those 2 guys are going to be in there somewhere. So that's what I got. Carter with Goring and Nichols.
I have No problem with that either. That's a great line. What about you, Kev?
Yeah, Carter is underrated, really. He really is. He was a fantastic player and very underrated and not mentioned enough. And I agree with that. And Goring was just very quiet and just handled his business, you know. My third line starts with Dustin Brown. Then I got Kempe and, of course, Kopitar. So Gary just copied me.
No, I didn't.
I put him in a different order. Don't be so defensive, Gary. What's the matter with you? Goodness gracious. This is banter, bro. But yeah, Kopitar, Brown, and Kempe are my third line. And what a third line. You know, now you're getting the physicality. You're going to get blitzed by my first two lines. You're going to get behind, and I'm going to put my third line in, and they're just going to shut you down, you know, because they can do it all. And so to have your third line, Kopitar, Brown, and Kempe, my goodness. I mean, you're getting way up. How are the Ducks ever going to compete with what we were able to put on the table with these guys? But yeah, you had it right, Gary. I want to compliment you on your third line because you had it absolutely perfect. You nailed it.
I had this already done 2 weeks ago, Kevin. So
defensive. What's the matter with you, Eddie? You know I'm kidding, right?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, you guys can put anybody you want on there. I mean, it's your team, you know.
That's right.
So I mean, we can argue about it if you want, but in the end, it's your team. You can put whoever you want on there.
And Kev, why don't you go with your fourth line? We'll just go right back.
Okay, now the
reverse
fourth line is one I wasn't that comfortable with, but I went back and forth with Gary on the very subject that we talked about at the beginning, the little fly in the ointment that Eddie put in, that I had the same kind of fly in my ointment too. Are we going to include Jari Kurri? And I asked you if we include them, would their career stats count? And under that premise, my fourth line reflects that. Okay. So my criteria, if you didn't play at least 50 games, then I wouldn't even put you on, even if you were a superstar. Minimum 50 games. So, and I'm kind of embarrassed to even say this as a Kings fan, because Jari Kurri, you know, he played 331 games. But it's Jari, he's an Edmonton guy, you know. I can't, and he was here when his, you know, not much tread left on his tires, but it's still Jari Kurri. And if we're going to count his career, you can't not have Jari Kurri, even though he's on my fourth line. If I truly didn't care, he wouldn't be on my fourth line; he'd be higher. But with trepidation, Jari, the whole line I'm going to give you, I'm a little embarrassed by, to be honest with you. But I'm using the criteria of career stats. That's why these guys are on my list. And I'm going to tell you how many games they played. Jeremy Roenick played 58 games for us. Okay. He's not a king, but that was the criteria. So for my fourth line, John Tonelli played 221 games for the Kings. So I got Jari Kurri, John Tonelli, and Jeremy Roenick, none of whom I really feel in my heart are Kings, but they did play for the Kings. They passed their criteria. And so that's kind of my fourth line. I mean, you look at the names and the pedigree and the career, you can't argue it. But as a Kings fan, it gives me a little dyspepsia. You know what I mean?
I got you.
That's my fourth.
Okay. Eddie, what's your fourth line?
Well, like I said, I didn't consider Jari Kurri because
that's fine.
His time as a King would not put him on my all-time Kings list. If you were taking his total career into consideration, then I probably would have given him serious consideration, but that wasn't how I wanted to make my team. So I have Adrian Kempe as my center on this team because I need somebody to play center, and he's certainly capable of doing that. Charlie Simmer, I have Charlie Simmer on one wing.
Nice.
Great numbers, but obviously he did not play as much as some of the other guys I have ahead of him with the Kings, like Butch Goring and Dave Taylor and Luke Robitaille, the left wingers that I have ahead of him. And then the last guy, I got to be honest with you, I don't know much about him, but looking at just the stats, he kind of kept popping up in that around the top 10 range. And maybe, Kevin, you can enlighten me a little bit on Mike Murphy. He's
Very
11th
quiet.
in games played, 11th in games played, 13th in points, 13th in assists in Kings history. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Very consistent, very solid, pretty good two-way player. Just very consistent. It was just, every game you got a consistent performance. He added points on there, and he was also not bad on the two-way situation. It makes sense. I like your fourth line. It's an excellent.
Is there anyone of a more modern, team that he can compare to, just to kind of give people like me a little bit better idea of like, oh, he was kind of like this guy that's a little bit more current?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody that comes to mind currently would be too much of a superstar. This was just a very good, solid two-way player. I don't want to call him, like Dustin Brown is a great player, right? He isn't in that category. He's not in a Kopitar category, but he was just a very solid two-way guy that's going to score for you. And, nothing that stood out in particular, but you didn't notice mistakes either. He just played in a very, very solid way.
Eddie, I would say the closest comparison I could come would be Dustin Brown.
Okay.
He could score. He would do the dirty work. He was a good player. I'm not going to say he's better than Dustin Brown. I don't think so, but kind of in that kind of way was Mike Murphy.
All right.
So my fourth line I'll give you guys right now. Now the funny thing is a lot of the same guys we just got them on different lines. I have Jeff Carter, Bernie Nichols, and Butch Goring. I go, take that for your fourth line. Dang, that's a killer line. I mean, I could have made them the third line just as easy as I did, Kopitar, Brown, and Kempe. But
I may be wrong. I think Yari Curry is the only guy that we're not all in agreement on. I think we all have everyone else, other than Mike Murphy would be my outlier, I guess. But I think we've all had Kempe, we've all had Simmer, we've all had Carter, we've all had Goring, Nichols, Brown, Gretzky, Taylor, Robitaille, Kopitar, and Dion. So at least we've got a very we're in agreement on most things, other than just one, or no?
No, Roenick and Tonelli is only Kevin.
Well, I went with the criteria on the fourth line for the career stats, but I did
want to mention. So, Kevin, did you not have Kempe? Kempe's not in your forward group?
No, he was on the third line.
All right,
with Kopitar and Brown.
Yeah, Kopitar, Brown, and Kempe. Gary copied me.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to figure out who else he left off that we had.
He did not have Jeff Carter.
I didn't have Carter, but that was because of the career thing that we both like, as King fans, it kind of makes us go, oh God, I don't really want to put John Tonelli on there, but you look at his career.
Well, I could tell you why I would pick Carter over him. He was the difference of us making winning the cup. He was a late pickup. Helped us
12
win the
and 14.
cup.
Which cup?
I'm trying to remember which one.
Well, he was on both teams, so
he was on both teams. So he was that pickup when in 12 when we barely made the playoffs. It was a miracle we made the playoffs, I think. And then we go and win the Stanley Cup. Then you had Mike Richards, which obviously was a really good player. Nobody picked, but then he I think they're still paying him.
They are actually. I think he's getting paid he's getting like a check for $500,000 for like the next 5 years, which is, man, how amazing is that? I mean, just here you go. Here's your check.
I did want to mention on Simmer, because we all have him, and Eddie, you didn't get a chance to see him as much as us.
Yep.
But he was just this big hulking guy, and he'd be in front of the net. And I remember the reason he didn't play that long is because he had a very catastrophic injury. I believe it was at the Boston Garden. He was, as usual, camped in front. Somebody cleared him, and he went over his leg, and his leg just shredded. I think it might have been his ankle that just completely snapped. And he was never, being a big hulking guy, and you get just your leg shredded or your ankle just smashed. He was never able to beat Charlie Simmer again after that. I believe it was at the Boston Garden. I was watching a game and I was like, oh no, not Simmer. And it turned out to be just a catastrophic injury. So that's why we don't have a 700 games. And if we did have that, we might all have Simmer higher, because he was the original camp in front of the thing. You can't move him. He's too big. And any rebound, anybody, he's just going to push.
Well, and back in those days, he must have just taken an unbelievable amount of abuse because of the cross-checking and and everything they were allowed back then. So, respect for that role. I will also, since the show we're doing is titled what it is, I will also say that Yari Curry being a Duck also was another reason not to have him on this team.
Good point. Good point. Oh, no,
okay.
I agree. But here we go.
So, Eddie, why don't you start off with the first defensive pair you'd pick?
I mean, I can't imagine us having a different pair than a Hall of Famer and a going to be Hall of Famer, and that's Rob Blake and Drew Doughty. I just, if there's another one you guys have ahead of those two guys, I will be very surprised. So I thought this was a very easy selection for the top pairing on defense, Blake and Doughty.
Kevin?
Well, you're going to be surprised.
That's
because there's one name that you're missing. And again, it's because I'm so old that I saw him play, right? Obviously, am I still got me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Is it Larry Murphy?
No.
No. All right. No. I am completely intrigued now.
Me too, Eddie, because I was thinking the same thing.
Are you kidding me? Okay, again, because I'm old and I saw him play, and he played, let's see, 182 games for the Kings over 3 seasons. He is a Hall of Famer.
Oh, I know who it is now.
Yeah, he was huge. He was smooth. He was always under control. You come anywhere near on our side, he's going to board you. And then he's going to skate off and not even miss a step. Larry Robinson was the best defenseman I ever personally saw in person, and he played 3 years for us. Obviously, now I do check some of the plus minuses, because I wish I'd had more time to do more stats, because I like to throw stats in as well when I do this. I'm going to give you, for instance, now, let's see. So Larry Murphy clearly is going to be on this list. I'm not going to tell you where, because I don't want to tip it. Do you know that Larry Murphy, and he deserves to be on the defense. Do you know Larry Murphy's career plus minus was 197 for Larry Murphy? Did you know that?
I did not know that off the top of my head.
Okay, so knowing that Murphy was a great player and an extraordinary plus 197 was his plus minus. Anybody want to take a stab at what Larry Robinson's plus minus was for his career?
Yeah, he played for Montreal for quite a few years, so it's probably pretty good.
Go ahead and take a guess.
I'll say 300.
Wow. Okay, Gary?
275.
Plus.
Oh, no, he left us in suspense. It cut out right as he was saying the answer. Say it again, Kevin.
I'm trying. What happened?
Cut out. Go ahead.
Plus 722, boys. Now, anybody that you saw play that was that effective, he shut down anything that came in our zone. He'll board you, and he'll get up and clear the puck, and he won't even break stride. It's like one of those football players or baseball players where they don't even look like they're moving, right? And they're going super, super fast. And he was huge. He was the biggest guy on the ice. He was smooth. He was aggressive, but he wasn't pissed about it. And he was just so talented. Best defenseman I've ever seen play, Larry Robinson. And one of my favorite gentlemen, and one of my favorite players. Obviously, Rob Blake, is my second on my first defenseman line. So Rob Blake, we agree on. It's just Larry Robinson. That's kind of the historical guy I see play. And plus 722. How about that? There you go.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Great player.
Okay,
man.
So
I will just say again if this were a list that I didn't look into it, but I'm pretty sure I can't imagine if this were a list of just guys who ever played for the Kings, then yes, Larry Murphy and Larry Robinson would, I'm sure, be on my list as well. But that wasn't what I was looking to do with my team. I would ask Kevin this question. You would take Rob Blake over Drew Doughty because he's a more physical presence, or because Doughty does have better? I know you said you're a stat guy. Doughty does already have better stats than Rob, and he's still playing. So just a question.
I feel that Blake was more of a presence, especially on the defensive side, and he also scored. Fair enough. Was just a big, just super talented two-way guy, and again, similar demeanor to Robinson. You come in, I'm going to board you. You know, if the whistle blows, I might help you up. But you come in my zone, I'm going to board him and clear the front of the net, and then I'm going to go down and score. And I like the question. So Blakey had 494 points in 800 games. And, you know, they're similar. And Doughty's on my next one. I don't want to tip it, but if you look at the pace of the points and then the grit, they both have it. So they're interchangeable, but just I saw more games in person with Blakey. And he also maybe, you know, because I thought he did a pretty good job as an executive, maybe I gave him a little bit extra on that. But they're interchangeable.
I did, by the way, I did see Larry Robinson play for the Kings, so I do remember Larry Robinson. He was like no helmet, as I recall, and he felt like he was a coach on the ice, you know, because he just had that kind of, you know, older, been there, done that kind of a guy. As I remember, it was kind of like almost like, you know, the dad was playing with the kids or something.
But very smooth, right? Very smooth.
Yeah. Was he the Stork? Was that his nickname, or am I confusing him with somebody else?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure about that one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I do remember him being a steady influence back there as an older defenseman when he came to the Kings. But I'm going to give you my number one line on for defense, and I can't say anybody. Number one would have to be Drew Doughty. I think he's probably the greatest defenseman the Kings have ever had. I have Larry Doughty, and I do have as his partner Larry Murphy. Larry Murphy played enough games. It was a contract dispute, and they gave him away. If they would have kept him, I don't know how crazy and good the Kings might have been with him. But it was all about money when they got rid of Larry Murphy. So I have Doughty and Murphy. Then I'm going to give you my number two line. And no Kings team could be without Rob Blake on it. And I got Rob Blake and Steve Duchesne as my number two defensive pair.
That's good. I think Duchesne seemed to me, as I recall, more offensive than defensive. And for me, I want a guy that if you come in my zone, you're gonna get boarded, you know. And so I agree that Duchesne is on the list. Very good scoring defenseman.
The nickname for Larry Robinson was Big Bird, Eddie.
Yeah, I looked it up. I was going to mention that.
Pretty close.
I was in the Bird family. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you know who I think was the Stork. I don't know if you guys are football fans at all. Do you remember the linebacker Ted Hendricks?
That was
absolutely.
I think that was the Stork. I confused my my big tall athletes. Anyway.
Yeah, my lines have a combo of defense and offense to them. So that's I picked Blakey and Steve Duchesne. Eddie, who do you have as your second pair?
I would say that my second pair is also that mix of defense and offense. I have Steve Duchesne as well, but I have Matthias Nordstrom with him. I loved Matty, you know, just reliable, hardworking, lunch pail kind of guy, not spectacular in any way, not offensively gifted in any way, but just from defense, physical, big fan of Matthias Nordstrom. So I've got him on my second pair with Duchesne.
I had forgotten all about Matthias Nordstrom.
How could you forget about Matthias
excellent.
Norstrom?
You said everything you just said. It brought all back memories. He was a great king.
Yeah, I think I see your hair standing up there, Gary.
Yeah, it is. What about you, Kev?
Okay, so I'm building a team, right? And with my forwards, I stuck with the Triple Crown, and then I went Gretzky, Robitaille, and Nichols for offense, and then I put Kopitar, Brown, and Kempe for more of a defensive orient. So I'm trying to build a balanced team while I'm trying to be mindful of the Kings and the history and such. So my defensemen are, one of them you're going to say finally is Doughty, of course. I mean, it's just because Robinson was one of my favorite players ever. So I put Larry Robinson first, and I just thought he was awesome. And Blakey was number 2, and then Doughty's 3. So but they're all interchangeable to me. My second defenseman, I need somebody that if you come down and you clean out Gretzky, you're going to have an issue. You have a problem. You come down and you throw Nichols against the boards. I want somebody that's going to make sure that he tells you that that's not acceptable. So I got Marty McSorley. I want that grit. I want that toughness. I want somebody that if you put hands on my forwards, you're going to get a knuckle sandwich, boys. I did have one interesting thing. Do you know that McSorley scored 234 points in 472 games? So he only played 472 games. He scored 234 points. So he's not just a goon. He actually could score. He had some talent.
He played a little forward in his NHL career.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did play both, but he is listed as a defenseman on most every other thing. So I don't have a problem with you picking McSorley.
But I want my team. That's my team. You're going to come and mess with my guys. Marty's going to come up and introduce himself and tell you that we don't do that here. So,
okay, Kev, why don't you go and give us your third team? We'll just go back in reverse order.
Sure. And I have one quick. So when Gretzky was still with Edmonton, right? I got tickets to the Kings game, and I was able to get tickets to the Kings game at the Forum when we made the playoffs, and I was about 10 rows behind the goaltender, right? So in between periods, Gretzky's playing for Ace Golan. He's buzzing everywhere, and nobody's hitting him, and he's feeding everybody. We're getting our butt kicked. So between periods, I go down where the Kings go into their locker room and they come out, and I get my beer. I might have already had an adult beverage or two, and here come the Kings back on the ice, and I'm screaming at them, "Hit Gretzky! Just hit him! Knock him into the boards!" And they didn't do it. And why didn't they do it? They didn't want to deal with McSorley. But I just remember screaming at him, like, just somebody hit the guy. What are you doing? And they wouldn't hit him. So that's why that's a quick McSorley story. My third line is Larry Murphy, of course. That's obvious and agreed. And then, I had the criteria of 50 games minimum, or I wouldn't pick them. So I guess we all have to make a line of demarcation of what's a king and what's not. But because of the statistical career, Paul Coffey played 60 games. So I have Paul Coffey as a defenseman, which is he's one of the best all-time defensemen, and a plus 298 on his career, by the way. Not bad.
True. How about you, Eddie?
Well, we already have said what my criteria was for picking.
Yeah.
I did consider Marty McSorley, by the way. I did consider him, but kind of looking at the stats, I kept seeing someone that was ahead of him, and I do remember seeing him play at the end of his career with the Kings, or at least the end of his time with the Kings, and that was Mark Hardy. He's third in games played all time by a defenseman. He's third in assists. He's fourth in points. So he's just behind some pretty good players like Blake and Doughty, statistically as a defenseman. Yeah. So I got him on there as a great King defenseman. And the other guy I've got is Alec Martinez. You can argue with that, certainly. But certainly as far as important goals in Kings history, a couple of the biggest ones of all time, and a steady guy, solid career. So Martinez, it's not a, I don't know that I have it's a great, I could be talked out of it perhaps. But I still, I like Marty a lot. So it's my team. So I'm picking Alec Martinez.
Okay. I like your pick because I have Alec Martinez also on my third pair, but I do have that enforcer for Gretzky. I did pick Marty McSorley. McSorley and Martinez as my third pair.
Take it easy, Kevin. Calm down.
So
got to have that grit, man. You got to have it. You mess with my guys, you're going to get a knuckle sandwich.
So it's now, guys, we're almost done with this. Let's go to goalies.
All right. So if I was surprised that Kevin didn't have Doughty and Blake as his top two, but I understand his reasoning, I guess. And again, it's his team, so whatever. If we all don't have the same two goalies, I'll be flabbergasted.
Okay.
How's that? Is that a good word? Flabbergasted.
Yes, that's a great word. Love it.
You never know.
Kevin.
You want me to go first, guys? I'll go first. The number one's got to be two-time Stanley Cup champion Jonathan Quick. There's just no other doubt in my mind. If he's not our number one, then something's wrong. And I would say 1A, 1B. Rogie Vachon would be my backup. So those are my two picks.
Agreed, Kevin.
I hate agreeing with you guys. I really do.
See, you had to.
Really hate agreeing with you, but you got one Hall of Famer and one soon-to-be Hall of Famer. Definite, no question. Brought us 2 Stanley Cups. In 2012, it was his cup that he brought us. Honestly, he didn't have the support. 2014, he had a little more help, but he was standing on his head in 2012. Great games played, goals again. He's a Hall of Famer. Quick is no question, no doubt. Yeah, I'm not that crazy. And Rogie Vachon, nobody else really stands out. I remember Kelly Rudy, and he was very inconsistent. Sometimes Rudy would be great. And the coolest thing about Rudy was that the whole crowd going, Rudy. Okay. But that's not enough to get you over anyone. Our current guy's pretty good too. So we'll see what happens, but those are the two that clearly I can't throw anything in here. So
yeah, I there's not anybody else even close.
No.
Not that I can see.
Well, Quick is
honestly, guys, we have a lot of the same players. We may have them mixed around a little bit, but one thing I was going to tell you, Eddie, you had Kopitar on your number one line. The one reason I didn't put him on my number one line is he's one of my number one penalty killers. So I'd rather have him play a little less minutes so he's a good penalty killer. That was my thought, because I agree with you. Greatest King ever. 2 Stanley Cups. He doesn't have the best stats, but stats don't mean everything. I mean, you think about it, the Lakers don't win without Kurt Rambis, and he really wasn't a stat guy, right?
Well, it also means something to me when you're talking about the greatest player of Team X. It means something to me if that player was drafted by that team and played his entire career with that team, especially in today's day and age. That does mean something to me. Now, Kopitar's career isn't over yet. It's not completely impossible that he would go somewhere else. I guess I would be stunned, though. I would be shocked if that happened. I can't envision that happening. So it does mean something to me. Like I said, you drafted by the team and you played your whole career. And if you're the face of that franchise, and if you're that all-time guy for that team, that's important to me.
Well, no, and I agree with you. But the reason I put him not up farther is that he play a little bit less on the third line and be one of my main penalty killers.
Well, you're really taking this to the extreme as far as being the coach of the team, so to speak. So that's fine.
I tried to think it all out.
Clearly.
I've coached a lot of teams in my day. Not ever I ever coach hockey, but sometimes we sit on the couch and we second guess what the coach does. I can remember driving, and the Kings were playing Edmonton this last year, and even the Kings broadcasters, when they did the asked for the video review for goalie interference on the goal, they said, I wasn't sure if I would do that. And then we ended up losing. So obviously second guessing Hiller on that decision. But I thought when I made my team, I was trying to think about every aspect of playing a game with this team too. So, but like I said, we got a lot of the same players. It's not a shock. I mean, we have a few out. I mean, I have Curry, nobody else does, and we have Kevin does. Roenick and Tonelli, nobody else had but Kevin. You're the only one that had Nordstrom, but I don't have a problem with that pick. I didn't even think about him. But I had no problem if he'd be on our team, to be honest with you. I think whoever we pick, we're going to probably beat those Ducks. So let's start trying to build that team. So can we come up with an idea of what kind of first line we really want?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that there's going to be a wrong answer.
I don't think there is, but we have to cut. The whole idea.
If you're going to twist my arm and say Gretzky over Kopitar or something like that on the top line, I'll be like, okay, I can understand that. So
I'm not twisting anybody's arm. Honestly, we all had a different center on the first line, but we all had the player somewhere else in the lineup.
Dion's all on our first lines, right? Marcel Dion's on our first line for all of us. Is that right?
Actually, he wasn't on mine.
For me, he was. Yeah, for me, he was.
Okay, well.
So we want to have Dion. Do we want him to be the forward center or just one of the forwards? Okay, we all agree on Dion. Okay.
Okay.
Are we? Oh, look, I'm sorry. Are we picking what our starting lineup is right now? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I will agree on. Well, I had Dion on my top line, so obviously I'm going to agree on that. You're the one, Gary. I think that we have to convince to put Marcel Dion on the top line.
And I just agreed with you. Let's put him on the first line. I don't have he's on my list. Really, we mix this up. It's not gonna hurt my feelings at all because I mean all these guys are great players. I know you have Taylor and Simmer on yours, Kevin.
I'm a homer, you know. I'll admit
Robitaille and Kopitar
line. If you're going for just picking like the pool, like Eddie was saying, and you're picking out the pool, maybe you don't put those, but I just know it as an effective line together. They were amazing, but you know, it's a little homer bias on that one, I guess.
Well, so let's look at the first lines. You guys both had Dion. I didn't. We'll go with Dion. So it's 2-1 on that. You're the only one that had Simmer on the first line. And you're the only one that had Taylor on the first line.
I know.
So Robitaille, you and me and Eddie agreed would be on the first line. Do we want to go with Robitaille? That would be like 2-1. How does that sound?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the results. So anything that there's a 2-1 consensus on, I think that's kind of ends the argument. We're just going to restate where we're coming from.
So now we got to come up with a third, and you still have Taylor Simmer. He has Kopitar. I had Curry and Gretzky.
I'm fine with Gretzky being on the top line.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so we do Gretzky. God, what a killer line that is. God.
I don't know. I liked Gretzky, Robitaille, and Bernie Nichols. I thought that would just be, you can't stop.
Well, you know, they actually did play together.
Wow.
You know, when they all played on the team together, they did play together quite often.
I thought Nichols was not on the same line.
No, he scored 70 goals. Who do you think passed him the puck?
Gary Spink.
Not me.
Cody Spink.
I can't skate, so
I guess it was you, Eddie.
yeah, it must have been Eddie.
I can skate, but not well.
So, okay, so we have Gretzky, Robitaille, and Dion. So we get rid of Dion, we get rid of Gretzky, Robitaille's out, Dion's out. Who do we want to put on the second line? We have, I mean, I tried to put a center with each one of them. I mean, Dion was a center. So we have 2 centers on that line.
Yeah, but we're not doing just like has to build it on a position. We're just saying the best for, front.
Yeah. Well, I always, because you got to, you have to realize you have to have face-offs too.
I would say Kopitar and Taylor should probably be on the second line. The third forward to me is, I'm willing to listen.
Okay, so I agree with Kopitar and Taylor.
I do too.
Gary, you're good with that?
Oh, absolutely. The one player. Oh, I have 2 player jerseys. Kopitar is one of them. So
nice.
I like Kopi a lot. I mean, I love the way he plays because he really doesn't have an overall weakness, and he's pretty healthy most of the time.
Yeah, he answers the bell. So on this one, are we going for what is our criteria? Like, are we, if we take Dustin Brown, nobody's going to be pissed, but then you're leaving the scorer like Bernie Nichols that is going to give you more offensive firepower. So I guess it's just, are we building this with any kind of eye toward balance of the line? Because if you don't have a balanced line, then you can put Dustin Brown on. So that's my question.
I'm fine either way. I guess I would probably say Bernie Nichols over Dustin Brown because you've got the grinder in Dave Taylor. So maybe Taylor and Brown together are 2 kind of similar players. Maybe you'd want somebody who is a little bit more of a finisher.
I think I agree with you, Eddie. I think Nichols would be the perfect guy because he was a big scorer, and Kopi is obviously a great passer. So, and then you were balancing out our lines. I like it. How about you? You okay with that, Kev?
Oh yeah. Those were the 2 that made sense.
Okay, so let's go. Let's go to the third line.
I think Brown on the third line.
Brown and Kempe would be 2. Brown and Kempe.
You got Kempe at center or wing? I had him as a center on my list just because I needed others.
He can play either, so we could put him there. I'm just trying to.
So we agree on Brown then, at least, right?
Yes, okay. I think.
Yeah, I got Brown. I'm okay with that. Kempe. We have Carter. We could put Carter as the third line center, or Kempe, or put Carter and Kempe.
Well, you got the grit with Brown, right?
Well, you definitely have the grit and in front of the net presence for sure.
So I think you got to go. You can't go Simmer because he's in front of the net presence too. So I think you'd have to.
Butch Goring.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
We could put Goring as the third line center with Kempe.
So we both. So are we good on Kempe with the second one on the line?
I'm fine with it.
Kempe.
That's not a bad, Brown
and then
Kempe
Goring as the center because Goring was the center.
Yeah, I could do Goring.
So we have 3 forward spots left. We're moving this pretty quick, guys.
Well, it's because you guys know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Well, I think we got to have
Talk me into
Simmer's got to be on that line, the fourth line. Carter's got to be on the fourth line.
it. Okay.
So, yeah.
And Curry played 331 games, so it's the reason I included him. Even though this whole fourth line was very ambiguous for me to even put in there. So obviously, if you went on Curry's career stats, he wouldn't be on the fourth line. But because
well, when you have an all-star team, somebody's got to play fourth line.
Yeah, but I'm kind of leaning toward Eddie a little bit more in this one that I don't really. In my heart, I never would think of Jari Curry as a king.
We can leave Curry off the list. I don't care. I'm okay with that. What we have left is you have Roenick, Tonelli.
Well, they're worse than Curry as far as not being a king. So
that's why we have Mike Murphy.
I'll take anyone over Roenick.
Grant Fuhr?
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah,
forward.
I'll take Grant Fuhr over Jeremy Roenick. I love Jeremy Roenick, but when he came to LA and just totally didn't even try, I think he came here because he wanted an act and get into that kind of stuff. I don't think he was interested in being a hockey player anymore. So that was really disappointing because I was a big Jeremy Roenick fan. I was excited when he came, and then when he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm just out here goofing around, I was like, it really bothered me. So
I think my vote would be Mike Murphy. I think he's the only one.
Well, he was in my top group, so I'm not going to push back on that, obviously.
Well, I don't have anybody left. The only one I had left was Curry, and I crossed him off. He wasn't king long enough.
Okay, and I'm good with that.
Let's do Mike Murphy.
Perfectly cool. Perfectly appropriate.
So let's do our defensive pairs. So who do we want on our first? I mean, Blake and Doughty are interchangeable to me. So I think one has to be on. I think you had them on the same line, right, Eddie? No.
Yes. Yeah, I had Doughty and Blake as the top pairing.
I mean,
we all agree on Blake, right?
Well,
yes, I think
he's on my top also.
Well, I had Blake on the second line because I was doing righty lefty. That's what I was thinking. That's why you
are overthinking it, man.
Well, that's how they play.
I know. I God bless you. That's great, man. That's cool. I just
that way they're on their side. They can keep that puck in. The left hand. I mean, obviously Gavrikov played the right side and did a great job.
Have you considered when you're going to do line changes? Like
no, the simulation will take care of line changes.
I just wondered if you considered that and how old they were and how fit they were. And
well, we're not. It's going to be a simulation done by the actual computer because if people can manipulate it, you can manipulate it and just have the same line the whole time or whatever. If you're controlling all that, so if you do a simulation,
keep an eye on Cody then.
I will. Well, we did it. We had it some guy do it for us the last time, but Cody thinks he can do it this time. He won't cheat.
I know. Silly. You're serious, Gary.
So do we want to do Blake Doughty and just do two righties? We can do that.
Well, I like Robinson as one of my favorite players ever in hockey for the Kings. I mean, he just, whether or not it's a career thing, he played 3 seasons and 182 games for us, and he really helped. So it's just one of my favorite players, just like the Triple Crown line. I didn't have Gretzky on my first line because I like these guys. That's the way I am. But so I would vote Robinson then Doughty. But if you guys go Doughty and whatever, It's 2-1. So I'm going to throw.
Well,
my
let's
hat in
go.
for
Let's look at all everybody we agree on. We
Robinson
all agree
was a
on
lefty
Doughty.
too. Robinson was a lefty too.
I know.
Yeah, we got with that right.
We all agreed on Doughty. We all agreed on Blake. 2 of us agreed on Duchesne. 2 of us agreed on McSorley. And 2 of us.
I'm fine putting McSorley in there because I did consider him. I'm fine putting him in there.
And 2 of us picked Larry Murphy. So we have Blake, Doughty.
What do you guys think about the Robinson edition? Because you didn't consider that, but now that I've made my case, I mean, is it compelling of enough case or no?
I did think of him. I don't know. Maybe it's because he didn't play as many games with the Kings. I mean,
it's hard to be against a Hall of Famer.
With a plus 722, by the way, career plus 722. It's probably got to be one of the highest.
So we have Blake Doughty. Those were unanimous, right?
Yeah, go Blake Doughty, and then I'm going to still lobby for Robinson on the second defense line.
Well, the ones we have 2, we have Duchesne.
And now we've had a discussion, and we've brought more information.
And we've had Murphy. These are all the guys we had 2. We had McSorley.
You know, McSorley over Larry Robinson?
Well, that we still need one more.
I'm going to vote for Nordstrom.
There you go.
Yep. We did have. Did anybody else have Nordstrom? I'm just going with the ones we had 2. I like Nordstrom though. I have no problem with him.
That's why it's a discussion though.
That's why we are discussing it. That's why I'm just throwing the what we've done so far. I mean, we've already picked the goalie, so we don't even have to worry about that. We can.
Well, so we're having 2 defensemen, 2 lines of defense, correct?
3.
Oh, 3. Okay. So we got Blake and Doughty as the first one, right?
Right. I'm okay with that.
Are we good?
I'm good with
Blake
that.
and Doughty. Okay. So we all agree on that. Okay. There's
Yeah.
your first defensive line. And then it's just now we got, I think Larry Murphy would be on the second defense line.
Well, here are the guys that had 2 votes. 2 of the 3 of us: Duchesne, Murphy, and McSorley.
Okay.
Well,
I'm nominating Larry Murphy to be on the second line. So should we vote?
I'm okay with that. Are you, Eddie?
Not really, but I'm not going to get upset about it.
Well, what is who would you rather have as the first defenseman?
No, it's just the whole going back to the whole argument of having guys on an all-time Kings team list that they were all-time great players, but they weren't all-time great Kings to me. So it's just that the most basic argument at the very beginning of all this.
Well, what's your line of demarcation though? You know what I mean? Like Gretzky only played 539 games. Dave Taylor played 1,100. Dustin Brown, Kopitar played 1,400.
I think if your performance was, if you were amongst the best players at your position while you were with the Kings, and I don't know, I don't have a number of games. I don't know, like 3 seasons to me. That was Robinson, right? 3 seasons.
Yep.
That's not much. You know what I mean? I would say, like, if you're going to make me pick, I would say like maybe like 5 seasons, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So that eliminates Murphy. That eliminates a lot of guys.
Correct.
Eliminates
for me,
Robinson. Eliminates a lot of people.
Well, to throw out a guy who played a lot of games for the Kings, Mark Hardy did. And I think, Eddie, you're the only one that picked him.
Right. But he isn't a guy I'm going to like. He's not a guy that I'm gonna go like, no, he must be here. No, I just like I said, he wasn't even on I wasn't really considering him to begin going into it. But then when I just kept looking at the stats and I kept seeing his name and I kept seeing his name and I kept seeing his name, I was like, okay.
No, I remember as a kid watching Hardy play on
But
TV.
I'm not, like I said, yeah, I'm not going to. He's not someone that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, he's got to be here. We can put somebody else. That's fine.
Well, let's go. Let's look at Steve Duchesne. Does anybody not think that Steve Duchesne should be on the team?
He's something to consider.
I would think we should put him on.
He was on mine, so I'm not going to argue with you.
All right, there you got Duchesne.
Well, I mean, he played a lot of years with the Kings. So we got an agreement on one defenseman.
I'm fine putting Larry Robinson on. I just, like I said, I don't know. For me, for some reason, I'm more open to Larry Robinson than Larry Murphy. I don't know why.
Okay, so
interesting.
We got Robinson on.
Well, he's one of the best that's ever played. That's also good. And classy guy, really mentored a lot of the younger guys and was a great leader for the team. Just the smoothest skater I ever seen, man.
Oh,
so good.
We both, two of us had Alex Martinez also.
So put on Alex Martinez then.
So we need one.
Go for that grit. Go for the toughness.
You want to go McSorley? You okay with McSorley?
Sure.
Eddie?
Sure.
Okay, so now we have our team. Now we got to pick a penalty or two power play lines.
We all agreed on Quick, right, for the goaltender?
Oh, Quick and Vachon are the goalies.
Okay.
There was no other one even considered.
No argument on that. Okay.
Yeah. So power play one, what would you guys like to do? We got a storehouse of great power play players that we can put on line one and line two. I'm open to whatever we want to do on this.
Is it going to be the traditional? I mean, what do we get? Are we going to do 5 forwards? Are we going to do four forwards, 1 defenseman? Or are we going to do a traditional like nowadays? It really is. It's unusual to see 2 defensemen out there anymore.
Right. We can go. I don't
care, but I
don't want to do 5. I mean, 2 defensemen, or force us to do 2 defensemen. We could do 4 forwards if you want.
I'm fine with that.
So let's figure out.
So Blake and Doughty. Let's start from that standpoint. We'll split up Blake and Doughty and have them be our 2 power play quarterbacks. Or
I like it.
All right.
What about you, Kevin?
Good.
Who do you want on the first line, guys? Because I don't care. Either one works for me.
I would say if you're going to have, I would say the first line should be also the first power play unit group of forwards. So Robitaille, Gretzky, and Dion, I would say would be the and then we'll add another forward in there. But I think those three. Yeah, I'm fine with Brown. Put him in there.
You got to have that
guy in front of the net.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Robitaille.
You want to balance it.
You got enough finishers, right? You got enough guys who can finish.
Exactly.
And you said you wanted Brown to be the presence in front of the net.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. And what defenseman do we want to be on the first line?
I would say Doughty, but I'm not gonna be upset if it's Blake.
Doughty's good.
So that tells us who's going to be on number 2. It's going to be Blake for sure. And who do we want to put on the second power play?
I think Taylor's definitely out there.
Yes.
Kevin talked about Charlie Simmer being that guy in the front of the net, so put him in there as well.
I like that.
So
Kopitar.
Kopitar, yes, I
Gotta have
agree.
Kopitar.
Kempe
or Nichols?
Well, Nichols. I would say Nichols then. Is that enough, or can we put them both out there? I'm lost count.
That would be it. So it's Gretzky, Dion, Robitaille, Brown, Doughty,
Wow.
Kopitar, Taylor, Nichols, Simmer, and Blake. I think we're
Nice.
going to score a lot of power play goals.
Just keep an eye on Cody because he doesn't have a chance unless there's a finger on the scale a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he is a Ducks fan, so that you can never discount that. Yes. You can never discount that.
Exactly. He'll just rerun it.
Guarantee you he wouldn't do that.
I know.
Gary, I am still here, I can hear and see everything.
Tell your dad to just get chill out, man. You're just busting his chops a little bit here.
So let's go with our penalty kill. Who I mean, my thought would be Kopitar and Kempe on the first PK forwards with Blake and Doughty.
I have no issue with that at all.
Well, wait a minute. You have Blake on,
but the only thing I would say is
penalty. Is that
I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me.
Well,
but I would say, are we, because I don't know. Like, I'm guessing Marcel Dion did not kill penalties. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, he's not going. He did.
I'm just saying we could, but I'm saying we may need to go ahead and just like eliminate who's not even in consideration for it. Like Luke and Marcel, right? They're not going to be on the PK.
No,
regardless.
Gretzky's not going to be on the penalty kill. Okay. So you got Kopitar, you got Taylor,
Dave Taylor, Dustin
Brown, Kempe, Carter. I don't remember Simmer being there. I can't remember if Mike Murphy is or not. But Kempe, Brown, Kopitar, and Carter.
Where's Dave Taylor?
Dave Taylor was well, we could put him in there. So we have those options. So Kopitar, Taylor.
He was tough.
Kempe, Brown, Carter. So we need to pick 4 of those 5.
Kempe and Kopitar, I think definitely are out there. So that would leave, who was it? Taylor, Brown, and who was the other one?
Carter.
Yeah. I don't remember if Dave Taylor killed penalties or not. So you guys I'd have to defer maybe to Kevin on that one.
Yeah, he was the guy that was going to just kill the penalties, go in the corner, root out the puck. He was a tough guy. He was the guy in the corner. He was the guy that would get boarded and still hold the puck under his skate so you couldn't, do anything with it. That's a guy of grit. I like my grit guys. He was a total grit dude.
Then let's do Brown and Taylor instead of, and Carter is out.
Okay. What about our defenseman?
Nordstrom, I think. I think Nordstrom, if he's even is he on the team?
He's not.
He's not. Okay, so. I
know Doughty does it. He kills penalties, right?
Yeah, but didn't we already say it was he and Blake would be? Are we splitting them up or are we keeping them together?
We could do whatever we want. We could do 2 different defensemen on the second penalty kill. You want to do Blake and Doughty?
I mean, sure.
Whatever, sure.
I don't know who the other 2 are going to be, though.
Well, if we're going to include Robinson, you got to consider him. You got one of the top players in the history of the game. If he's going to be considered. Plus 722 for his career.
Was he a penalty killer?
Dude, he was plus 722. He did everything. It's Larry Robinson, man.
And we want to put Larry on? I'm okay with that.
All right. Good.
We have Martinez, Duchesne, McSorley, left.
Well, Duchesne was an offensive defenseman,
Yeah,
so either what's that Martinez guy, right? Why don't you do
Alex
that?
Martinez, part of
Yeah.
the 2 Stanley Cup champions.
Exactly.
I don't remember. Was McSorley a penalty killer?
I think he was out there
Yeah.
when Wayne was out there, man.
I don't think so, but
So,
you know what?
let's
We
go-
may
let's-
have to make a concession.
Yeah.
What do we want to do, McSorley or Martinez? I'm good with either one.
Let's go Martinez.
There you go.
So we'll leave McSorley to protect Gretzky. Now we need to come up with a coach, a GM, and then a home and away jersey. That was a surprise when they did it.
Well, Sutter for the coach, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's I don't know that it's hard to go against Lombardi and Sutter as your combination there.
Exactly.
I agree.
We got the cup, baby.
Well, we got this done pretty quick on this part. What jerseys do you guys like?
Well,
And we
Kevin
can
will
make-
probably be thrilled to know that I wish the Kings would go back to the forum blue and gold.
Yeah,
because that
definitely.
certainly seems his jam.
Absolutely.
So I'm more than happy to take that into
God.
consideration. I love my favorite jersey. Hold on a sec. I got a prop here. I didn't do this on purpose, by the way, but
That's okay.
do it anyway.
if we can go back to something like this, I would be thrilled.
Nice.
Okay, winner, chicken dinner.
Nice.
That's the reverse retro from the last time they had it, which was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
nice.
that's the away jersey, right? Reverse retro away.
Yeah.
What about a home jersey, guys?
I mean, if we want to like honor both halves, maybe we should have a black and gold jersey for the home jersey. If we have one of each, why not? I don't know.
Well, they did win the cup with that, yeah.
Yeah, I would rather go with the Gretzky era silver and black because that's when I became a Kings fan. So that's near and dear to my heart. If we're gonna go with the silver and black, I never liked that home plate logo. I know we won 2 cups with it. It's the one that's behind our
I know.
illustrious host there. But
I just
What do you-
like the background. It wasn't the home plate.
what do
I
you
think
think, Gary?
Well, I do love the reverse retro one.
Yeah,
That's a winner.
I've said a million times on my show, I always am in favor of the crown on the front of the jersey. That should always be the case. What style of crown you want to put on there, I'm willing to listen, but I just think the crown should always be there. I didn't care for that shield they used to have, didn't care for the home plate. So I'm in favor of any kind of a crown you put on there.
So the
Like
silver
that.
and black from Gretzky era what was that?
That's
that
true.
Was
That was the
that a crown?
Chevy logo. Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
That's the one you want right
So,
there.
So why don't you guys, if you guys want to do the forum blue with the new school, why don't you just pick the one that my dad's wearing as the home?
No.
so that's the
I think it's settled, yeah.
we want the crown, right? We want it in both.
How about this one?
Yeah, that one's better.
I like it. Let's do that.
It's got the crown, but it's also kind of honoring a different era. And I love purple. I just love the purple. So we got to get
Yep.
the purple in there, right, Kevin?
Yep.
Oh, I'm
Sounds
good with
good,
that.
man.
I love it with the crown for sure.
All right.
So
Good job.
That was easy.
That's because you guys are smart. Didn't have
Well,
to educate you very much.
Edumacate, really? Well, guys, good job.
Thanks.
Does anybody know who has the best plus minus in Kings history?
Larry
As a
Robinson.
king. As a king.
I don't.
What's the criteria for as a king?
He
Yeah,
was a
that's
king.
true.
Only
Only
else?
only
Only
numbers
played-
while he was in a King's uniform, right? Only
Right.
numbers.
Correct.
I'm
He's on our team, by the way.
going to say Dave Taylor.
What about you, Eddie?
Kopitar?
It is Dave Taylor.
Ah!
Like 186. I was surprised when I was doing my research for this, when I looked that up. I was going to put it on another episode, but I thought it just works today. I was going to see if Cody knew that.
Nope.
No, he was a great player. He doesn't get enough.
Kopitar was number 2, by the way, but he was a distant second.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
in
Kopitar,
many more games, by the way. Many more games.
it's going to be a sad day when Kopi leaves. So he's pretty much been my favorite player since for his whole career. So,
Well, it's been cool to see him from day one for me. Didn't see Dion play. What was Robitaille's rookie year? I don't think I saw Luke's first year. I saw a lot of him early on, but I don't think I was there from day one. So cool to see Kopi from day one.
Robitaille was 86, 87.
Yeah, that was before my time. I got in in the early 90s, so he'd been in the league for a while. Probably missed his better seasons, to be honest.
Who'd you guys pick for your general manager and coach again?
Lombardi and Sutter.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you guys were going to go with Barry Melrose for a second.
No.
Because you're a Ducks fan. That's why.
That has
Well,
nothing to do with the Ducks.
He did take him into the Stanley Cup. They just didn't win it.
He did,
Yeah,
but
because of the freaking stick thing in Montreal, right?
Well, everybody wants to blame it on that, but there was more games after that.
Yeah. Well.
So it is what it is. So Cody's got some work to do now.
Don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully,
You'll do great, Cody.
ChatGPT does a great job for me.
You'll do awesome, man.
Yeah,
Good to see you, Eddie. Always
good to see you.
Locked
Good
on.
to see you guys. And
Locked on Kings, man. Check it out.
Kevin, do you get out to games these days? I'm sorry, Cody.
Yeah.
You get out to games.
Yeah.
Let's say
Not as much
hello
as
at a
I'd like.
game sometime. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
let me know when you
definitely.
go. All
Dude,
right.
I got so many stories.
Hey Eddie,
You
are you at most games?
Well, this season, the way things are at the moment, I probably will be at most games. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
It has to typically be on a weekend for me because my work schedule.
Yeah, that's the way it used
Doesn't
to be
know.
for me, but I've suddenly found myself with more time.
Nice.
Well, you've done well, Eddie, with obviously with Locked On Kings and the Puck podcast.
congrats
you
on the
guys have-
20 years on that, by the way.
Thank you.
I forgot to tell
That's-
that to Doug last week. I forgot. That was my fault.
Yeah, and then obviously Locked On thinks highly enough to have you on that second show, the
Game night.
NHL game night. So
Yeah, looking forward to doing a full season of that. That'll be fun.
But,
Sounds cool, boys.
Eddie, while we're on the topic of you want to tell everyone where they can find you at, even though we kind of just said most of it?
Yeah. If you like podcasts, Locked On LA Kings, wherever you get your podcasts, and also on YouTube. And again, if you like hearing about a weekly recap of the entire NHL and sometimes Ewok movies, then the Puck Podcast is for you. You could find, again, wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget the weekly reminder of the Isaac Howard trade.
yes,
Yes.
Doug brought that up again at the end of the Ewok thing.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It cracked me up because when you said it again, I was like, wait, I think he said that last week. And then Doug said it. I'm like, okay, it wasn't just me then.
Well, you'll enjoy this week when I talk about how I complained that 3 people were not on the Canadian Olympic invite who are Americans.
Oh, I think I heard about this one.
Yeah, I for some reason my brain said they're playing for Canadian NHL teams, so why wouldn't they be invited to play for Team Canada? It makes no sense.
Was that Cole Caulfield one of them?
Cole Caulfield, Dustin Wolf, and there was one other one. I'm like, why aren't these guys on the Canadian Olympic invite? Well, because they're Americans, idiot. That's why.
Yeah, I was like, I heard someone talking about that on another pod. I was like, wait, was it Cole Hudson or Hudson?
Oh
Hudson?
yeah, it was Lane Hudson. Yes.
Oh, I'm like, wait, I thought he was American.
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
you thought
that's
right.
what I thought. I wasn't okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now I feel better about that.
Sometimes you say something so dumb that you just have to laugh. So
yeah,
I had to laugh
I have that. It happens to me too much.
Is that true, Gary?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
I was just gonna say thanks for the invite. Appreciated being on.
We love having you on, Eddie. Yeah. And like I said, you got great podcasts going on there, and you're a pioneer. Thank you for leading the way for the rest of us. Are you still there, Kevin?
I'm here.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say before we go off, Kev? You want to do a shout out for your insurance agency?
Yeah, I'm an insurance broker, 30 years experience. You can tell I pay attention to details. I have all the insurance avenues and anything that you could want. My website is Total Pros with a Z, totalproz.com. Click it and I'll help you out. Whatever you need, car, house, anything.
Awesome.
That's it.
So we're all ready to go.
Yeah. Everyone just don't forget to go follow Eddie at Locked On Kings and the Puck Podcast. And call if you need insurance, call Kevin. And for Royally Quacked, we're on all things podcast platforms and also all things social media. Go give us a follow, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can always watch us live, and make sure you download the episode. And next week we should have the results of this all-time Ducks versus all-time Kings. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'll offer my condolences in advance. Quack, quack.
I could just tell you this. Ours went a lot smoother than yours did. That's what I felt like.
Hey, we started rocky, but we rolled at the end.
Yeah. You guys
we have a lot richer and longer history to sift through.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I thought we all worked really well all last week. It was because we had the other half of Puck Podcast on there. We had Doug Stolhan and Locked On Ducks, Kyle Carr. Then our good friend of the pod, the captain of chaos, Adam Broll, who's always in the comments on these things. So, but I enjoyed our time last week, and it was fun listening to you guys for sure too. So,
and we love you, Cody. You know that.
Yeah. And here's Mr. Chaos himself. Disagree, painful, just painful. That's because it was all Kings. He's just being him. So, but all right, well, we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys again for coming on, and we'll see you guys next week on Royally Quacked.
Go Kings, go!
All right, guys, take care.
All day long, Royally Quacked, their podcast show, sharing stories, highs and lows. From the Kings to the Ducks they go, shouting go Kings go, Quack Quack they cheer, my father and son, their passion sincere on the ice, their love